Morning skate time, Nathan MacKinnon. Man, he has been an absolute wagon in this postseason. 13 games, 10 goals, 7 assists, 17 points. And Cale Makar, I mean, the hockey world pretty much knew how good he was, but now he may be separating himself as the best all
D
around.
in the world.
Two-way D in the world. You just heard you got a Torts endorsement. 17 points in the 13 games. For more, we bring in Emily Kaplan, talking about the Avalanche Oilers this time around. Emily is in Tampa Bay. She'll be a part of our coverage in Tampa. She's not in Tampa Bay. She'd have to be in a boat,
Which would be nice.
Oilers will be without their leading goal scorer tonight, Emily. Evander Kane suspended for that cross-check on Nazem Kadri in Game 3. How did the Department of Player Safety come to that one-game decision?
So first they looked at the play and they determined that Nazem Kadri did not put himself in a vulnerable position, and therefore the onus is on Evander Kane in what they deem to be a dangerous hit. Now, something like this might only warrant a fine. However, once they determine it needs supplemental discipline, they consider the context and history. That is that Evander Kane had previously been suspended 3 times and received 2 fines. Also, they consider the impact and the severity of the injury to Kadri. Kadri has been ruled out for the rest of the series, considering he's a second-line center. That's a pretty big impact, and they landed on 1 game.
No doubt. They won't have him, as you mentioned, for the rest of the series. What that injury is, we weren't too sure. Could be a thumb, could be something else. What do we know beyond the rest of this series? Could, if 10 days from now, could he play in the Stanley Cup final?
So what I know right now is that Kadri has returned to Denver. I've been asking around for people saying, does he expect to return for the Stanley Cup final should they advance? I haven't been able to get a firm answer. All I've been reminded is that it's a very serious injury. The Avs say they're going to fill his role by committee. That's how important he is. But initially, you'll see JT Compher slide into his spot in the second-line center. 2 big developments at morning skate today, though. Andrei Burakovsky and Darcy Kemper were both on the ice. Burakovsky was practicing with the second power play unit. That's a good indication that he could be in the lineup tonight, although Jerry Bednar would not confirm it. Jerry Bednar also wouldn't confirm whether we would see Darcy Kemper, who is recovering from a concussion, return tonight. However, somebody I was texting who was at the rink today said that he was taking a ton of shots and looked to have absolutely no restrictions. So we'll have to see how that situation develops.
Oh, we love when coaches have to make a big decision. Emily Kaplan, thank you so very much. So let's throw it over to the coach right now.
So you can second guess it, that's all.
Well, that's what makes it fun. It's a tough decision. No, it's a tough decision. Because I tell you, Francouz, he looks good to me, and I think the players like him.
Kemper goes right back. For me,
yeah.
If you're asking,
I'm asking you.
And I'm not Bedsy, I don't have the team, I put Kemper right back in.
How about you?
See, that's an interesting question because Francouz, you're right, has played really well.
Thank you.
And I actually think, but they asked me this question last week, and when you look at the numbers, you start digging into the numbers, they actually play better in front of him. I don't know if it's a mental thing. Sometimes that happens when your backup's in net. You just tighten up a little bit. No, they play better defensively in front of Francouz.
Kemper goes back in.
Okay, right. But if you went with Francouz and you win, now you're committing to Francouz playing Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final because you're not going to throw Darcy Kemper in off an injury, not having played into the Game 1.
So off 3-0, it's a good time to play Kemper.
Yeah, you play him now.
Absolutely.
That way you have some runway.
Get him back in and get his head. He's going to be your guy in the final. And
that's why you brought him here.
All right.
Yes.
And real quick, 1-game suspension. Are you okay with it, what Kane got?
I thought it could have been more. It's a really dangerous play.
The playoff games tend to be more for whatever reason. Regular season might have been 3. All right, let's talk about now the pressure on Connor McDavid. His team is down 3-0. Some of the life has to leave your body at this point when you know you got to beat this team 4 straight. Overall, though, Torts, Connor McDavid's playoff performance, where his head is now, and what he can do tonight.
Yeah,
as a leader down 3-0.
Yeah, I think he has led. Colorado's better. All situations, all the way through, they're a better team than Edmonton. I really like the way how Edmonton's played. They have played hard. They've played away from the puck. They've done all the things they need to do to try to win. Colorado's just a better team. That Connor McDavid has impressed me from the start of playoffs as far as how he's handled himself. I'm sure he's going to do nothing but lead tonight.
You know what I've noticed, too, and this is why I love this series so much, is because you just mentioned Connor McDavid, and I'd say the same thing about Nathan MacKinnon. It's like these guys have had enough. Okay, individual awards are great. It's time to play a full 200 feet, lead, and both of these guys are doing that. We showed you a clip. You just missed it, the Cale Makar clip. When he's going, I think that's been one of the bigger differences. And the other stat that we showed, I think, is huge because home teams have dominated in this postseason. They haven't lost a road game yet.
6-0.
Colorado. 6-0. So that's huge. And the fact I think that they can skate. Cole Makar, you mentioned it. Cale Makar, is the best defenseman on the planet.
Well, we found out that he can really defend also, right? So it's fantastic.
Avalanche are 11-2 this postseason. That's different from the other three teams. Rangers are 10-7, 9-5 are the Lightning. Edmonton 8-7. They lose tonight, they're 8-8, 500 team. All right, Avalanche have the chance to move on to the Stanley Cup final tonight, seeking their third final appearance. Not looking too bright for the Oilers as teams to take a 3-0 series lead and a best-of-7. Of a perfect 44-0 record in the conference final. That includes 26 sweeps, the last one being the Bruins in 19 against the Hurricanes. So this usually ends in a sweep.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.